Hey guys, Travis from the Third Gear Speed Shop here, and we're going to get into part 2 of the dirt track Camaro build. And this time we're going to be talking a little bit more about the body work I've been doing here at the bench. But before we get into that, I wanted to just talk a little bit about the replica that I'm building and look at some photographs of the reference material that I've got going on, and just hit on some of the topics regarding the build replica portion of it, and then I'll show you what I've done since our last video, and look at our progress. So I'm just going to put a photograph up here, and what we're looking at here is this is the replica that I'm building. It's the Freddy Smith Camaro, driven by Freddy Smith, and this photo is probably around 1981. As I said in my previous videos, these cars developed pretty rapidly between 81, 82, but this one I'm pretty sure is from 81, and the reason I'm building this particular one is because I found some decals online that match this car, and the different the way the numbers are and everything match up. So I found a couple of pretty good photographs, this being one of them, and as you can see from the front, we'll be getting into more detailed photographs of the front, or more close-up photographs, I should say. But the front is, we've got the cutout for the crash bar up front, and then it's got a little bit different nose on it, and then going back, there's a the air cleaner sticks out of the hood, and then as you move further back, these cars from 81, 82 started to develop some pretty wild looking spoilers, and this is one of them. And I really like the way the spoiler, there's a combination of clear and black portions of the spoiler, and then it's got this cool sort of the back window quarter portion of the driver's side window has this support on it. It looks like it's like an aluminum covering that is they've got another kind of Lexan wing on it. So we're gonna be mimicking that and trying to replicate those features in this build. Have my decals coming. They've been on order for some time, so I'm hoping that with all the mail, the post office being some changes or whatnot, I hope it's not lost in the mail. I hope it's just they're just late. But at any rate, I got some decals coming for it. Freddy Smith was from High Point, North Carolina, and he drove in the NDRA series, and it was the first traveling dirt series, and paid pretty good. Some of the guys that drove in that series made a pretty good living, and it really boosted late model dirt driving. Late model dirt stocks really took off in the late 70s and early 80s because of the NDRA. So we'll switch over to this photograph. It's just a different view of the same, looks like the same track, same day, and you can see a little bit more of the dash area, and that's pretty unique. We'll get into that a little bit more once I start building the chassis, but you can see how the gauges are almost just kind of built into the firewall, which is pretty cool. And I've got some other resource material that we'll get into later when it comes to that. So, yeah, so that's kind of what we are looking at for resource material. Finally, this last picture here is of me, and this was probably taken around 78, 79, me and a friend of mine. And my dad took the photo. I'm probably maybe in 3rd grade. I'm on the right, and I'm leaning up against Freddie Smith's Camaro, which was, like I said, probably 78, 79 at Anderson Motor Speedway. So I do remember watching this car. It was pretty cool. I really liked the 00. Was pretty neat. You didn't really see that on, I'd never seen a car numbered that before, so I really liked it when I was a kid. Anyway, that is, those are the photographs that we're going to be using and referencing throughout the project. So let's now go to the bench and I'll show you what I've been working on. Okay, so here we are with our progress so far. On our last video, I just sort of roughly took out the windows and you know, got all the material out of the windows. So I've gone back and sort of fine-tuned and sanded. I took out the bulk of the material with a hobby knife, like this, and then I just went back and I used these sanding sticks. I got these at my local hobby store. These are really good to get in really small areas like this area, and especially areas like this where the larger sticks just won't go. So also used the larger sanding sticks also that I get from the beauty supply store for areas like, you know, this area and this area. But so a combination of sanding sticks and hobby knife. Still need to sort out, get the back window smooth. I got the front driver's side A-pillar pretty much the way I want it, and I may go a little bit thinner, but you can see it's getting pretty thin, and it's pretty durable. I mean, you can see it's not you know, it's not gonna break unless you really force it. So this stuff's pretty resilient. So just be careful, but don't go too far. But it's still, you know, pretty resilient. This side I still need to sand both sides. And if you look at it from, let's see, if you look at it from this angle, you can tell how much that I need to take away. But most of my attention this week has been around the front, and I'll show you here. And so I took out the area right there where our crash bar is going to poke up through, and then there's 2 areas here where I'm going to, I've got it in a, I found a 55 Chevy. Let me get this dried off. And by the way, I'm using Simple Green for chrome removal. That's what this solution is to here. Is Simple Green. Takes about 24 hours, maybe a little longer, but I'm removing all the chrome off of this 55 Chevy. If you can see that, I'm really looking for the pattern in that grill area, and I will put up a photograph here. So as you can see, and this is a zoomed in photo of what we were looking at earlier in the video, but and yeah, it's zoomed in, so it's not the best quality, but you can see that grill pattern in the lower portion of the nose. So what I'm going to do is cut a portion of this 55 grill and just kind of put slivers, and then I'm going to put those into here. So that'll be their next project. That'll be their next, I'll show you what that looks like in the next video. But what I did do was get these holes drilled, and I got this one. If you can see this one, I did get the this one somewhat complete. If you can look in the back, you can kind of see what I did there. It's basically a tube that I cut at an angle and pushed through there. And so I've got a kind of a pilot hole here. I did realize that since this is going in at an angle, that, you know, it's not a round hole. I had the round hole, and it was kind of, it was at an angle like that, which wasn't correct. It needed to be an angle like that. So the hole that I'm going to be filing out is actually, and I've sort of mocked it up here, as you can see where my pencil is going. It's kind of an oval, and that will accommodate this piece going in at an angle. And then I'm probably going to go back on this side and cap that off. Just put a piece of styrene there. I'm not sure what size this styrene is. I got it in an assortment pack, but and I don't know if it's 100% accurate with, you know, in scale, but it, to the eye, it looks about right to me. So again, I'm just filing with a got a round file here. So I'm just going to file out that oval shape and then push this this piece in, and that'll be those little vent holes in the nose. And then, like I said, put my little grill pieces in, make it look like it's all molded in one piece of plastic. And then the last thing I wanted to mention on this video was, and if you'll notice on the our resource material, this kind of right angle here isn't on the car we're building. It's a lot more rounded off. So what I'm going to do when I remove this material here, I'm going to actually remove this piece here, and I've got two of these pieces. They're identical, or as best I can, getting it identical. And basically what's going to happen is this is going to be glued. I don't know if you can see with my hand in the way. That's going to be glued there, and then glued carefully to the front. So it's just going to extend that nose out, and then this piece right here is a much rounder piece. It'll also give us that wheel well with that added piece that it was just riveted to the nose. So a lot of these cars had different noses that they just cut the pieces of plastic. Maybe they got bent up or what have you in the front, and they just cut it out and put a new piece on. So we're going to mimic that best we can with this. There'll be lots of clamping and holding in place to get this to cooperate and to glue down the way we want it to glue down. And then all of this obviously will be removed. So we're going to remove that first, and then we're going to get into putting this piece of plastic. And this is super thin. I think this is 0.10. sheet styrene. Really love working with this stuff. It's probably, well, it's what I'll be making my the tin work inside the rear package tray and all like that. So it's super flimsy. It's almost the thickness of a index card. A little bit thicker, obviously, because it's plastic, but real easy to cut, work with. You can cut it with scissors, you can cut it with a hobby knife, and if you're using the styrene cement, then it pretty much welds to this styrene to styrene, and it's not going anywhere once it's in place. So that's yet to come, as well as the grill and finishing up this nose. And then we'll probably get our wheel wells cut out, and I've sort of just mocked up where the rear is going to be cut. Probably save the final cut for once we get the chassis built, but I've kind of got an idea of where these cuts are going to be. I'd like to get the decals to know exactly where I should be cutting this, but and then the back, it's just a rough cut for now, but it will be finished out, and won't be so rough. But that's where we are. I also drew out where my hood is going to be, just so I could get an idea of where those nose pieces are going to line up, and kind of eyeballing where everything is going to get put. So I went ahead and used some tape to draw these lines, and again I'll need to fine-tune this line, and just more sanding, more fiddling with it, and hopefully by next week I will have at least the front portion, these items done. Maybe not the this piece, but I'll definitely have these front items done, and maybe the wheel wells will be gone. We'll start to think about that. I also am going to put in a little flare in the rear top of that fender well. So a lot more body work yet to be done, but we're getting there. You can kind of see it's shaping up to look like a look like the photograph, and we'll just keep using that photograph or those photographs as reference, and keep checking what we're doing to that to make sure that it's looking the part, and yeah, we'll just keep going. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'm going to try to get one of these videos out each week until this thing is done. So tune in next week. Until then, happy modeling. Thanks for watching, guys.